Keuka College that examines various issues from a spiritual perspective by using a team of panelists. Tonight we're in the newly renovated Phillips Lounge on the campus of Keuka College. We welcome our panelists, our live and virtual audiences streaming through Adobe Connect, and we encourage all viewers to ask such broad questions which will help to shape our discussion. CounterPoint as a noun is the art of combining two or more melodies to form a new melody. As a verb, counterpoint means to set in contrast. Through CounterPoint, the show, we are hoping to demonstrate how different opinions can exist together, creating a unique melody. The title for tonight's topic is Body Image. Recovery Month is the month of September, National Recovery Month, sorry, and it's through the Center for Substance Abuse and Mental Health. It promotes the benefits of prevention, treatment, and recovery for mental and substance abuse disorders. Tonight, as we explore the very complex issue of body image, we note that the 25th year of Recovery Month focuses on the message that behavioral health is essential to overall health, that prevention works, treatment is effective, and people can and do recover. My name is Will Staub, and I am a student at Keuka College. I'll be moderating tonight's discussion. Our panelists this evening are Dr. Rob Anderson, family physician at Preemption Family Health, the Penn Yan Central School District physician, and he also consults students with concussions for Keuka College Athletics. Mayor Martini Hausner is a licensed counselor and director of counseling services at Keuka College. Zip Nguyen is a dual major in business management and organizational communication. Stephanie Lockhart is an ASL interpreting major. Let's begin our conversation. So the first question for our panelists and our online audience is, what role do you guys believe that family, culture, spiritual beliefs, and friends play in shaping someone's thoughts about body image?
I guess I can start. I think that all of those, family and culture and all those play a big part. And that we do see a lot of times where, the kind of basic base that a young adolescent or a young adult kind of starts to form through their family and support and things that they maybe see from their, based on their parents' behavior, their parents' beliefs, if parents are dieting a lot, if parents are kind of always commenting on their weight and things like that. So I think that can be kind of the initial base.
So kind of family is an initial basis of how you see yourself?
I think so. I can start that.
Would you guys agree with that? Do you think that there's another aspect, maybe like culture, spiritual belief, and friends? Those are the three other aspects we have here. Do you guys think those play an equal part? Maybe they play an equal part?
Certainly, I think that all of those play a role, and they come right from formation. As we see, I'm a family physician, I see children, I see adults, and usually one's upbringing makes a big difference in one's formation of body image. If you're in a family with people that are all of a certain body type, you'll tend to associate with that body type. If you're encouraged to have certain health practices, that will tend to lead to body type. And if you're in a family or a social situation in school that encourages a particular body type or image or idolizes a certain type of person, that will tend to be incorporated into your system of beliefs and your understanding of the situation.
So do you guys think that there is a difference in the sort of cultural or societal values on like a healthy body or a particular body image that gets subverted, like changed because of what people believe in? Maybe like a school setting or a family setting? How would you say, obviously when you're younger, you just have your family to look up to. But like once you realize like kind of the maybe social stigmas about certain body types, do you think that that takes away the foundation that you get from your family and your friends, or do you think it adds to it? Do you think it changes it at all?
Well, I would like to speak a little bit about my culture and my background where I'm from. So I'm from Vietnam, where people prefer women in kind of like a smaller shape, body, and pretty bright skin tone. And in my country, I might not be considered beautiful because I'm I was born with a darker skin tone compared to others, and compare my body shape with other Asian girls at my age. I have a pretty bigger frame. So it's funny how my family always encourages me about my appearance, and I think it's something very cultural that I wasn't very confident and very good at taking compliments from others. Sometimes it got to the degree that I didn't feel comfortable when my parents compliment me in front of, like, for say, their friends. And I would feel very embarrassed because I think that they are overrating me. And I used to be, in the middle school, there were 20 girls in a class, and they did kind of a funny survey, when we were kids, to see the rankings of the girls in class. And I was ranked number 18th over 20, and I was very embarrassed about myself. But then, what I learned from traveling, I'm from Vietnam, I studying here, and what I learned is that there's, there's no one best body image in the world, and you have to see your strengths and weaknesses. And for me, I would like to see the people with the lightened skin tone as a milky skin, the people with darker skin tone with the chocolate skin tone. And for example, I always make fun of myself that I have yellow skin because I'm Asian, but I would like to say golden skin. So it's cultural, but it's also about the mindset and what you think.
I think media has a lot to do with it too. I grew up in a Christian family at a very young age. I was homeschooled too, so I didn't have a lot of exposure to outside, like, media and all that. So I grew up not thinking a thing about what it looked like. Happy, healthy was fine, and then started going to a community college. And you start to see, every single magazine you look at has things about dieting and looking good, and you think, oh my gosh, like, if everybody is worried about it, I should be too. Like, this is a problem that I'm probably going to encounter if everyone else is worried about it. My family was great. They didn't, like, love me to pieces, so I think the media, and even friends, like, you have, like, gorgeous looking friends, you always feel self-conscious about yourself.
So I feel like kind of what we established as a group for the first question was that, like, family and friends are the initial foundation of it, but with exposure to different forms of media or different, like, people, maybe even exposure to different cultures, kind of how you think about body image, even if you don't really recognize it. That's how I like your answer was that, it changes. Our next question is really interesting because we do have such, like, a broad panel with different experiences. What defines a healthy body is our next question. Anybody can take that, anyone can start. So.
Well, I can start. I assume that everyone would picture, not everyone, but the first perfect body image that probably comes to our mind is an hourglass shape of body. But I personally, I don't agree with that because I think that it varies in many different places. It also varies that in probably most parts of the country, of the world, is considered, the hourglass shape is considered the best body image. But in other parts of the world where, having a big belly or big waist is considered beautiful and gorgeous and desirable. So there is no such thing called the best body image. And I think that for the healthy body, I think that as long as you don't have any disease or any serious symptom that can harm your health, and you're confident with the way that you look, and I think that defines the healthy body. Personally, I don't mind making fun of myself. I have all flaws and all that. Probably my clothes cover them all, but like I have my abs not strong. I have loose arms. I look healthy, but actually I'm not strong. Like I'm very weak. Every time when I need to carry something, I always have to ask someone else to help me. And I don't mind, walking in the geyser with tons of plates on my hands. I eat a lot, and I don't really care how people think about it. But now I'm just 21. I think that I'm at the most beautiful age of my life. But when I think about when I become a mom, when I'm pregnant, or when I have wrinkles on my face, I think that the ideal of a good or healthy or a beautiful body will change in me, because when I'm carrying a baby in me, I would like to have a healthy figure, so that my baby will be healthy as well. It's considered beautiful to me at that time. And when I have the wrinkles on my face, I will not be afraid of that. And I think that is also the ideal beauty for me at that time, because I think that every part of my body tell a story about myself. And they mean something. And that's the ideal of beauty to me.
Certainly for a healthy body, you want it to be functional. You also, we encourage trying to get to health. So we encourage trying to get to the right weight and trying to get to that fits one's frame. But there's still a good variability of a healthy body. Someone can be a little bit overweight or underweight and still be very healthy. I see a lot of athletes, I see a lot of non-athletes, and I really do think that to have a healthy body, you need to be thinking about the nutrition that you're putting into it, thinking about the activity that you can do with that body, thinking about the health of the mind as well. Because if you don't have a healthy mind, then your body's health will not be maintained. And so in that, there's always something to improve upon, but at the same point, the epitome of sport, or the epitome of an individual thing, will vary quite a bit.
I agree with that, and I think that it's so true that everybody is unique and different, and has a different healthy body weight. And so I think the problem arises when individuals compare themselves to somebody else. Okay, so my friend is the same, 5'6" and weighs this amount, and I am the same height and I weigh this amount. And so kind of that comparison to other people, when the focus and to be healthy is kind of what's best for you, what's going to be best for your unique body.
I was going to say the same thing. If we try to compete, pick some celebrity that we want to be, like we want to look like him or muscular or whatever, less figure. But from what I've learned, correct me if I'm wrong, but each body has your own normal, and once you reach that point, it's perfect for you. It's not going to match anyone else, and if you try to pick someone else, you're going to try to become. It's never going to happen. You're never going to win. So we're pretty much on our own. Even the Bible says we're on a race with ourselves. Almost it's a one-man race, and it's just us and God. We don't have to worry about other people.
Both of you made good points in that health and the body are not a stagnant feature. They're dynamic. It's always changing. We have to be eating and drinking and moving and growing and constantly changing. as time moves, we change. And so health changes constantly too. And so a lot of health is making good decisions and continually trying to build up one's health. Someone can have a disease, but if they're controlling it, or making good decisions and improving it, they're becoming more healthy. And if somebody has a very healthy body but isn't taking care of it, they're eventually becoming less healthy.
I want to take a break here to catch up with our online conversation and see where that's headed. And that's also a break for any audience members that may have questions for our panelists. If you do, feel free to give them out. I don't know where exactly the online conversation is at.
I'm reading through it now. You have a question?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, please, Devin.
Do you believe that technology has played a role into the problem with health and all of the photoshopping that is going on online, as well as media? And it's not so much media that's driving the problem. Media is just a form of communication via TV, internet, whereas the actual problem would be in the industry at hand, which would be at the entertainment industry, and how much of a stress that they put on people to look a certain way in a certain role, and then they pass that off as being healthy. And then also as well, most photographs that you see of celebrities that endorse a certain product, they're oftentimes altered with technology that is not at the same hand that we take our photos with. So there's like a huge disadvantage there when one person compares themselves to somebody else, as well as body types and everything that's taken into account.
So the question was, just for our online audience, does the kind of the advent of technologies like Photoshop, where different models and celebrities are altered so that they don't even look how they really look like in real life, play a role, the body image, as well as kind of how that's disseminated through the media to people who see that. So, do you guys believe that? Or?
So to answer your question, I think that I'd like to tell a little story about myself. So when I was younger, I used to take a lot of selfies. And there are many apps in Asian countries to give you flawless white skin, and you can have some feature, some functions that make you have like a V-like face, and you can make your eyes bigger and all kind of that. So I used to take a lot of selfies, but now anymore. The reason is because I don't want when someone who comes see me and they tell me that, hey, you don't look like the one in the picture. So that's my opinion about it. I don't believe in those things, because I think that if someone, they so quote that comparison is a thief of joy. I don't totally agree with that, because I compare myself with other women all the time, and I find it motivating instead of discouraging. But I like compare myself with others, but I don't make judgment. And I think that it's okay to compare ourselves with others, but don't strive, to become others, because I think that if we do that, we will make ourselves a construction of, other people, to fit with other people's standards and expectation, which we shouldn't. And after I give up my selfie habit, I feel way better about myself and more real to myself. I accept myself the way I look outside instead of the way I look in the pictures that I took.
Like you said, I think we judge ourselves, like our outside, more than we judge other people. I think we assume everyone else views ourselves how we do, and it's like keeping everyone thing. But if you see someone like, I don't know, in the guys where they trip and fall and spill everything on the floor, the last thing you think is, oh, what an idiot, they're klutz. Normally you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not the only klutz around here. Everyone does stupid things. You feel better about yourself when other people aren't perfect. So.
I think that's a really good point, and I think going off of kind of what Zip just said, is there a way then, if we all kind of agree, I think the baseline is that, yeah, technology definitely plays a role in our body image, especially when the images we see of others aren't necessarily an accurate representation of what they look like. Is there a way to kind of mitigate people comparing themselves to others? Like, what would you recommend to anyone really? Like, what would be the solution on you guys' eyes to stop people from comparing themselves to others and kind of striving for almost unreachable goals?
I think that part of that is just to kind of check in with yourself and to make sure that, you know, you're paying attention to, you know, building your self-esteem, building your confidence. If there is issues that keep coming up where you feel like you are comparing yourself hugely, or you are using kind of a lot of that negative self-talk and putting yourself down, to, you know, take a look at some of the other, you know, possible ways to deal with that. And a lot of times, you know, even with people who maybe choose to go on a diet or something like that, it might be more helpful to kind of take a self-esteem test and kind of, you know, work more on the inside than outside.
I agree. I think that, you know, it also depends on what you're focusing on and what you're looking at. I mean, if you're focusing on something outside of your own abilities, you're going to innately just be disappointed. And if you're looking for, you know, validation from somebody else, eventually you're going to be disappointed. So people need to set their own goals and understand their own well-being. And from a body perspective, that's knowing what, you know, a healthy body is for you and having goals to maintain that, rather than trying to meet someone else's standard. Because they vary so widely. I mean, I wrestled in high school, and wrestling has such a wide diversity of body types, but everyone had that. Each class has its own ideal body type, and if you don't fit that, you have to become comfortable with where you are. To give a small example of this, I was very light when I was a wrestler, but I was very tall. A lot of the lighter wrestlers were shorter and stockier, stronger. And it took me several years to realize that I just had to use my body in a different way to be successful. When I used my height to create leverage, I was able to be more successful. But it took a long time to figure that out, to realize that I couldn't do the same activity